would like to take a moment and acknowledge that the University of British Columbia is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam people. I would also like to acknowledge that you are joining us today from many places, near and far, and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. And as we gather virtually from the diverse locations today, I encourage each of you to take a moment to consider the histories of the lands you're on and how we can collectively honor those connections in our work and learning. We also have the honor today to have our Director of Recruitment and Admissions from the graduate school at UBC, Rodrigo Porto, to join the session with us, and he would like to share a few words with us.
Thank you, Patricia. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Rodrigo Porto, the Director of Recruitment and Admissions for our graduate degrees here at UBC Sauder. And it's my pleasure to have you all here with us today for our Applications Are Now Open information session for the Professional PMBA degree. We call it PMBA at the UBC Sauder School of Business. It was really nice to see you're calling from BC, Alberta, Ontario, and I'm sure there's a few of you logging internationally as well. I want to warmly welcome you to this opportunity to learn more about how our PMBA can shape your career and future. At UBC Sauder, we pride ourselves on delivering a world-class academic experience, one that combines academic rigor with practical hands-on learning. This year, I'm very thrilled to share some exciting news. Over the past 4 years, the PMBA had a wait list for many of our admissions intakes and frequent requests from prospects, applicants, and even students for more flexibility. The PMBA program now offers even greater accessibility and flexibility. For the first time, you can choose to take your PMBA classes via our new online stream, allowing you to take the PMBA degree from almost anywhere while participating in our weekly live Sauder Studio classes, balancing your personal and professional commitments a bit more, as Patricia mentioned earlier today. But if you prefer to come to campus and take on the PMBA via the in-person stream, that will also be available. And Patricia will tell you more about during our today's session. Whether you choose to attend the PMBA in person or take advantage of our newly introduced PMBA online stream, you can be confident that you are receiving the same top-tier education that UBC Sauder is known for globally. And with both streams, you will meet one another at each of our 3 in-person residencies during the program. The UBC Sauder PMBA program offers you the opportunity to best equip yourself to achieve your goals with both streams. The combination of our rigorous admissions process, ensuring the highest academic and professional standards and accomplishments when we curate a PMBA class, the experiential learning opportunities, of course, our faculty, and the globally relevant curriculum all have been designed to empower you to succeed in any business environment. I am really excited for what's ahead in today's session, and I look forward to learning more about each of your personal and professional goals when I read your applications. I hope you will leave today with a deeper understanding of how this program can transform your career and your future, and be best informed about which PMBA stream, in person or online, would be the best option for you. And stay tuned. We'll share more about our Sauder Studio Live classes during our session today. For now, I want to pass it back to my colleague, Patricia. I think Patricia is up here on the screen, who is going to guide us in a deeper dive about the PMBA and its many exciting features. Thank you so much for being with us. And Patricia, over to you.
Thank you, Rodrigo. All right, let's dive right into it. So I'll give you a quick overview of the agenda. We'll cover an overview of the PMBA program, because I know some of you might be joining these sessions for the first time. And also we'll cover the exciting new online stream, how is it different, and we'll talk about the application and admission process. If you do have any questions at any point during the session, feel free to type them into the chat box on Zoom, and we'll go over the questions in the Q&A session at the end. I saw from the poll earlier that some of you are joining us outside of the Metro Vancouver area. So instead of driving to campus every other week, now with the flexible online offering of the PMBA program, you will get the opportunity to take your career further from wherever you are. And I usually get questions from my coffee chats when I talk to prospect students. And from my conversations with them after they start the program, and also from even after they graduate, I've summarized a few reasons for the question why the UBC PMBA program is such a popular program and why working professionals choose it. Since 2018, we've been ranked as #1 business program in Canada for the past 7 years in a row. And with the in-person professional residency as an anchor of the program, you'll be immersed in the experiential learning as well as benefiting from the networking opportunities. And when I say the networking opportunities, is not just with your cohort. Joining the UBC PMBA program means that you're joining our massive global network of 50,000 alumni around the world, expanding your connections in different industries. Outside of your classrooms, their personalized career coaching will equip you with the tools you need for the next step for your career. And finally, the program is designed to fit your schedule, either online or in person, to allow you to keep your career momentum and other life commitments. When I say that we are ranked #1 business program in Canada for the past 7 years, it's not just a fluffy number. It really means that the UBC Sauder programs offer our students a world-class academic experience in the PMBA program. Our professors are among the highest caliber in their fields, and their work has made our school one of the top in the world for business research. And these professors have been involved in many researches that drove the Canadian society forward. On top of the award-winning faculties, we also have a very strong cohort profiles in the UBC PMBA program. You'll be studying with a group of driven and motivated industry professionals who brings various skill sets and experiences to share with the cohort. Here's the glance of our class profiles of the PMBA class of 2027. So these students have just started their journey 2 weeks ago, and they have just completed their residency 1. So from the chart, you can see that our cohort brings diversity and strength. Among the 64 students, we have a strong women representation and people who hold global perspectives. The cohort also averages at 10 years work experience with people coming from 15 different employment sectors. Earlier in the session, I was asking where people are joining us from, their industries. Have seen a lot of responses. There's, finance, tech, consulting, government, energy, healthcare. Have all of them in our cohort. So this is truly a global and experienced group of professionals from various backgrounds who bring in a diverse skill sets into the program. So in your classes, you'll be working in group projects and discussions all together with these professionals, which means you'll learn from your classmates who brings different management experiences, which could be thought-provoking and also brings you to the next level of challenge as a business leader. The PMBA program is really anchored by 3 professional residencies, which offer an experiential learning. Sometimes people ask me, what exactly are the professional residencies and how does it work? It is a real-world professional experience where people are coming together to work on business cases while learning about specific topics from a different perspective. So just like medical residencies require graduates to work under supervision in hospitals to gain specialized clinical skills, the PMBA professional residency is an in-person, immersive learning experience, connecting you with peers and industry leaders. They're also facilitated by our cross-discipline instructors. So there are 3 residencies in total. Each of them will last for 8 days. So I want to show you a quick glance of our program journey. You might see this on our website as well. The entire program will take 24 months to complete. The first year will be focusing on foundation courses, and second year progressing to advanced courses. And something to remember here, students from both streams, both online and in person, will join the residencies in person and have the opportunity to learn from each other, our professors, our speakers, and alumni as well. So when you start the program in January, you will enter the program with the Residency 1, and it will be a great opportunity to connect with your cohort, to foster relationships with faculty members, and start your career development programming. And then you will start taking foundation courses such as accounting, operations, marketing, and so on. Moving to the second year, you will again start with Residency 2, And after that, you will dive into specialized courses that give you actionable tools and real world skills. And on top of that, you will also have the options to explore global opportunities as well. We'll talk about it in just a short moment. And lastly, you will complete the program with Residency 3 in December of the following year, which is your second year, and then you will graduate. So I've listed the 3 topics for the residencies just to give you more information on what they are. And I'm going to show you some clips from class of 2024's residencies. Hopefully it'll give you a rough idea of what do you get out of these residency experiences.
The PMBA residency is an opportunity for faculty, staff, but mostly students to press pause and come together in an immersive, collective, collegial experience.
The residency program has been great because we get to learn from a few different professors, and not only are we learning about what they have to say, but we're learning a skill.
What is changing in the nature of your team? It could be the configuration, it could be the nature of the work, it could be the nature of supervision, it could be technology. What does that mean? And what possibilities emerge from that configuration?
I literally would go to class on the weekend, learn, come back to work on Monday and be like, okay, how do we build this team? What kind of processes do we want? And then you just get to ask those questions in class, which is so unique.
Knowing and understanding the motivations surrounding the negotiation is fundamental to success in negotiation.
The teachers are super engaging, and so you feel like you really learn a lot.
Largely because we're just playing with this case, but you can see what happens as you start case discussion. Different opinions, different perspectives. Each of the people that spoke have different background, different knowledge, and they're all making good points. I thought all points were outstanding here, right? So a good leader is able to understand it's just not a black and white frame ever.
Set me an objective. Give me the tools that I need in order to achieve that objective, and then help me if I'm finding barriers. That's great management. That's great leadership.
Both Rob and John are very engaging. They have a very strong presence in the lecture room, so it's easy to forget that you're in a gigantic space. You just kind of get drawn into what they're saying, which is really nice.
So the first thing I want you to do in your teams, have a conversation together. And I want you to decide in your team who is the most charismatic person and who is the least charismatic person. And yes, I am putting your group in an uncomfortable situation, and yes, I'm doing that on purpose. And this is an opportunity and hopefully a safe space that's been created to try something risky, to take a chance, to do something that they wouldn't normally do. And then they can feel a little more comfortable with doing that in the future in a workplace context.
For me, the most rewarding classes were the ones where you learn something totally different than the course topic. That was really led by the experienced professors who can bring it from that level of the frameworks to actually applying it and making it tactical at work.
You are now a member of a global team, a global alumni group, and I think that will serve you throughout the rest of your career.
It always amazes me how passionate our profs are in those classrooms and how engaged people are. So looking at those students learn and grow, it's very fulfilling for me. All right, as I mentioned before, the global reach of the PMBA program. So the students in the PMBA program will not only get the professional residency experience at UBC, they will also get the opportunity to explore their reach globally through the UBC Sauder network, including the GNAM courses, summer study abroad, and also the UBC Yale dual degree program. UBC Sauder is a proud member of the Global Network for Advanced Management, which is a prestigious collaboration of 32 graduate schools around the world. And this network offers unparalleled opportunities to collaborate and learn on a global scale. Students who participate in the GNAM courses will have the opportunity to travel to international universities, tour global businesses, and meet with local business experts. Some of the famous schools in the same network is Yale, Oxford University in the UK, University of California in Berkeley, Hong Kong USD, and so on. Here are some of the schools from the GNAM network as examples. So among 32 schools in 30 countries across 5 continents, you will have the opportunity to take courses from any of the member schools without having to pay additional tuition. So this will not only enrich your experience in the MBA program as a student, but also expand your network globally, which is the key of obtaining an MBA degree. I do have a quick question for you here, just to see how much you know about UBC. So I want to see the answers in the chat box. Do you know which other university in Canada is in the same GNAP network with UBC? So take a guess. Look at the chat box and see if anyone knows. Well, someone says no one, someone says Rutman. Anything else? U of T, none. Okay, some of you do know about UBC. That was a trick question. UBC is the only Canadian university that is in this network, which is quite special. And this is the exclusive experience that you won't be able to get from any other universities in Canada. So you can imagine that some of these schools are very popular. For example, almost everyone wants to put Yale on their resume. If you do want to take advantage of this optional study opportunity, be wise when you rank your school choices in that semester, just in case that you don't get your first option because it's just too popular. But at the end of the day, all options are solid and exclusive to the UBC Sauder PMBA learning experience. And here are some nitty-gritties about the optional global courses. There are 3 ways to be a part of it. First of all, there's an online option called GNAM SNOCS. If you would like to keep the work-life balance and keep your travel costs minimal, these online courses are offered in 2 semesters, which are January to May, and again in September to December. But if you prefer the in-person learning experience, you can participate in the GNAM Week courses. And these are 1-week intensive in-person courses where you get to travel to the school of your choice and experience classes there. It usually happens in March and in June. There's also a 3rd option called summer study abroad. So in the summer semester, you'll have about 2 to 3 weeks to join a member school to experience their courses in person. And all the courses that you take from the global opportunities, they will count credits towards your graduation. Yeah, I saw someone from the chat box. That is wonderful. It is wonderful, isn't it? These courses sound very exciting. But now outside of the classrooms, UBC Sauder also works incredibly hard to make sure that we're providing our students with the career support that they need. UBC PMBA offers the personalized career coaching by our Business Career Center. And among the past 2 graduating classes in 2023 and 2024, 79% of the students enhanced their career while still in the PMBA program. This number shows that the majority of our students are making progress in their career before they even graduate because they have been utilizing our career services to work their benefits. Our Business Career Center plays a very critical role in the PMBA program, offering our students with dedicated one-on-one career coaching, professional skills training, and networking opportunities. Our students will have access to 4 different mentorship programs, exclusive company panels, and valuable industry insights, and much more. Okay, now moving on to logistics. In terms of program delivery, the PMBA program is designed to fit your schedule. So you might be someone who's a busy working professional, or maybe you're someone with a young family, or you're just someone outside of the greater Vancouver area, but wanting the world-class UBC experience. The PMBA program offers you the flexibility and accessibility to make it work for you. And now I'm going to show you how your course schedule is going to look like, both for in-person and online stream for the same PMBA degree at UBC. So first of all, the in-person stream classes will be on alternative weekends, both Saturdays and Sundays, with full-day classes at the UBC Point Grey campus. Exams will be administered online, and you will be studying 2 courses at the same time. For example, marketing and corporate finance. And every 10 weeks, you'll be starting a new set of courses. So this is the in-person stream. And if the online stream works better for you, the online classes will happen during weekday evenings, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can join the synchronous online classes from wherever you are. Exams will also be administered online. So we will have the same set of faculty members teaching both in-person and online stream classes, subject to class schedule availability. to make sure smooth learner experience and high quality of classes. Next, I want to give you a sneak peek of how our online class is going to work in our Sauder studio and how our professors are going to deliver the online lectures while keep it engaging. It's very cool technology, so I'm very excited to show you. There you go.
My name is Darren Dell, and I'm the Dean at the UBC Sauder School of Business.
I want to show you a little bit behind the curtain to see what really happens in this new online environment. I want you to take a look at what I see when I'm actually teaching here behind the Lightboard. So come on over. Here in the Lightboard studio, you can see the setup that we have two screens in front of the professor. One that has, images of me in the class, as well as the chat function, so we can see the dialogue that's happening in real time. On the left side, you see the PowerPoint deck. Right in front of me is the Lightboard. And this enables me to write, draw, equations, you name it, as I teach the class. Let's take a look at a few of the other studios, just to see what else we can learn about this online experience. The second studio is the Loft Studio. Why do we call it the Loft Studio? Because it features this Loft technology, an interactive board, right, that has the PowerPoint up on it that you can draw on, cross things out, put in equations, and when you're ready to, erase it and start again. One of the best things in all of our studios is the ability to see our students, to interact with them online, just like we're in a real classroom. And there you have it, the behind the curtain look at the Sauder Studios. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you in the online classroom soon.
It's very cool, isn't it? It's not, so when you're taking your online classes, it's not just like, a head on Zoom. There's a lot of technologies going on with a whole team of staff supporting our professors in those studios. Okay, and next I want to show you some more details about the course schedules. So here is the chart to compare how your schedule is going to look like for either stream that you might choose. So the top chart is the in-person stream, and the bottom one is the online stream. You can see that in the first month in January, your schedule looked exactly the same, because if you remember, I mentioned before, the professional residencies are such important parts of the PMBA program. So regardless of choosing the in-person or online stream, each one of you will be benefiting from the in-person residencies as well as the amazing networking opportunities when you start the program. And when you look at February and March, you can see that the in-person classes are over the weekend and the online classes will be Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. If you are someone who likes to plan their entire year ahead of time, you can see a yearly snapshot here so that you know when you can fit your vacation days in case you see some great flight deals. So on the right side, I've also listed the credits requirement and also a breakdown for the PMBA program. And something to be noted here, you do have up to 5 years to complete your degree. If you like to take a semester off to focus on your career or family, or you can choose to power through in 2 years. It's completely up to you. These credits requirements and also the yearly snapshot, they will be the same for both in-person and online stream, because at the end of the day, you are receiving the same PMBA degree from UBC, regardless of what delivery mode that you choose. All right, and now you might wonder, this program sounds amazing, but how do I get in? How do I make my application competitive? Our application portal for 2026 intake is open as of this morning. So if you're ready, if you've been thinking about submitting your application for a long time, make sure to give yourself has some head start and submit your application sooner than later. And make sure you check our admissions requirements from our website. I've listed a few on the slides for you. Make sure that you have your documents, your transcripts. If you do have the GMAT or GRE score, make sure you upload them. If you don't, check out our waiver eligibility information and see if you qualify. And there's also your resume, your professional references, written and video essays. If you do have your degree completed not in English, we do need you to submit your English proficiency test score. And if you're shortlisted, you will be required to complete an admission interview as well. Okay, I think our Maya from our team has just posted the website for the admissions requirements. So feel free to save that link to make sure that you have access to it. And when you're creating your application account on the website, the first step that they're going to ask you to do is to choose your intake and the delivery mode. So make sure you do that. And I've also listed the next steps following creating your account. Submit your application, then make sure to upload all your documents from the Upload My Documents section. And you do have to remind your references, give them a friendly heads up that you are going to submit your application, because their responses will have to be submitted for your application to be complete. And if you're shortlisted, you will receive an email probably in the 5th or 6th week time to let you know that you're invited for the admission interview. And the entire reviewing process will take around 8 weeks. So from the day that you have your application submitted and completed till the day that you might receive your offer, it will take around 8 weeks. And we do offer rolling admissions, which means that you do not have to wait until the deadline date to submit, because your application will be reviewed on a first come, first review basis, as long as it is a complete application with all the documents submitted and references provided. So this means that the earlier you apply, the more available seats, the more available scholarships left. So don't wait for too long trying to make your application look perfect. Get a head start soon. And speaking of scholarships, I've got a lot of questions from my coffee chats, and people wonder, how do the scholarships work for the PMBA program? So you are automatically considered for these scholarships when you're submitting your application, and no need to submit a separate application for the scholarship. And all the scholarships are merit-based, which means you have to showcase that you have a strong application. And I've got the information of all the scholarships on the screen right now. I would recommend that you take a screenshot, take a picture, do some research on our website, and do book a coffee chat with me in the coming weeks so that I can discuss with you how your profile aligns with our scholarships. So I'm gonna have Maya from our team to post my coffee chat booking link in the chat box so that you can connect with me. There's one more thing to be mindful here, is that the deadlines showing on the screen, they do not mean that that's the only scholarships available attaching to the dates. You do need to make sure your application is submitted and completed before those deadline dates. For example, if someone applied before April 29th, which is the first deadline, it does not mean that they're only eligible for the Emerging Leaders Award. They are eligible for all these awards. But if someone submitted their application in like July, for example, July 6th, before the second deadline, they will miss on the first Emerging Leaders Award because that deadline has already passed. Hope that makes sense. And I've also listed the chart of tuition and expenses. So if you're curious how much you have to invest in yourself, the tuition is payable per semester, so you don't have to pay everything upfront. And you can start working on your financial plan for the next 2 years. I've mentioned before that UBC has a UBC Yale dual degree program that's available for our PMBA students. So if you're someone who's interested in earning the Yale degree on top of the UBC PMBA degree, feel free to scan this QR code and register for a spot, because we do have an info session coming up this Thursday. You can get more information from that session. One last thing before we open the floor for questions. We are going to have our in-person advising sessions at the Robson Square starting tomorrow. So if you work downtown and you would like to chat with me in person to discuss your profile, feel free to take a screenshot right now to capture the QR code to book an appointment later. And we do have our virtual advising sessions ongoing as well if you're from outside of the Metro Vancouver area. So don't worry if you cannot make it downtown, you can always book a virtual chat with me. For any other inquiries, you can also send us an email at the pmba@sauder.ubc.ca, and our team will get back to you as soon as we can.